I'm Tarachand Jain here on behalf of Ahmedabad Management Association. I welcome all the participants and Mr. Akhilesh Shah. Mr. Akhilesh Shah has more than 20 years of experience in field of risk, safety, reliability, environment, and loss prevention. He has worked in offshore as well as onshore, oil, gas, petrochemicals, pulps, paper, and fertilizer projects from concept to design. Mr. Akhilesh Shah is associated with TUV, SUD as their FS expert, delivering training in functional safety, pan India and abroad for various operators such as IOCL, GAIL, NTPC, RIL, and system houses such as Honeywell, Siemens, Schneider's, Rockwell, Eaton, etc. Mr. Akhilesh holds BE MS Chemical Process Engineer. I welcome him to deliver his speech on cybersecurity, particularly industrial. Welcome, Mr. Akhilesh, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jain. Thank you very much for this generous profile. So, welcome once again, everyone, on this very short webinar on the introduction towards the course that we want to pursue. In today's course, yes, I will be giving, I will be showing you the slides, and I'm going to on some other aspect, or you can say very specific aspects on cybersecurity, particularly for industrial systems or ISCS, what we call as industrial automation and control system. Now, I will introduce the course in a short while, but meanwhile, we also have another esteemed faculty with us who has gracefully agreed to join our course. Is Mr. Mohan Limaye. I will introduce him in a very short while once I have introduced the course. So he is also a very well experienced in instrument engineer. He has more than around 50 years of experience. He is somewhere close to 75. But he is still very, very active in the field, and he has got a humongous amount of experience in industrial systems. So let me introduce brief about the course, what we are going to talk about. This webinar is particularly on a course that we are proposing in the industry. We have gone through this course also. Some part of the course already have taken over. We are going to talk about a specific aspect of cybersecurity. Now, cybersecurity, when you say, it is generally known as security measures on your software. Now, when you say cybersecurity in industry, it means little bit different. It means it is still the same cybersecurity, but we are looking into a very specific aspect of securing a particular premises, all right, or what goes into that particular premise or in that particular facility or that particular industry. For example, say you are working in a refinery or some kind of a petrochemical complex or some kind of a manufacturing unit or something like that. So we are talking about security of locations, of a particular specific locations. Now that becomes very, very specific in nature, all right? And you need to devise some techniques or tools to understand the threats and the vulnerabilities and what are the securities related to your systems or particularly your industrial automation systems. So that is what the course is about. We'll go through this one by one. Meanwhile, let me introduce the faculty which I was just talking about, Mr. Mohan Limaye. I saw his name. So Mohan sir, are you there? Let us move forward with the course. Now, first and foremost, the question that pops up in our mind is why this cybersecurity is needed. See, as I mentioned, cybersecurity for IT systems, or particularly the internet or information technology related system, particularly your device, much of the people who are working on device is aware about, all right? They are aware about what is this security measures, and some of the security measures are already embedded inside. As simple as in your device, you have a password protection. That is one of the security feature, the basic security feature. Now, when it comes to industry, we were a little bit late, all right, because we were quite complacent, more so because the industry or the facility is segmented from the rest of the world. That is how it was. I mean, if you see, it was kind of plug and play. So if you are having a computer, you will simply plug with an Ethernet cable, and simply try to transfer the documents or communications or something like that. This was kind of a way when the computers or much of the industry got computerized. But over a period of time, people started, because plenty of incidents happened, people started understanding that that is not how it has to be. All right. I mean, there are various ways this system could be hacked, and there are various ways the malware attackers could compromise the system. Either they may hold something in ransom, or they may try to disrupt the services, or eventually they may try to create some kind of a consequences. Now, whatever I am talking about is not an hypothesis, right? This has already happened. These events industry has already seen, and they keep on happening. Particularly in last couple of years, it has increased by magnitude of order. All right, it has increased multiple folds. The one such incident, which is considered to be cornerstone, particularly in industrial cybersecurity, is the Stuxnet attack. I'm sure if you are in cybersecurity, particularly on the industrial side, you might have heard about this. It was kind of a malware which is known as a Stuxnet, and it is still available. All right, it is still largely available in the dark web. This was used in a ESB and inserted into a workstation. All right, in a nuclear facility in Iran, and it compromised nuclear centrifuges. Almost 30 or more nuclear centrifuges were compromised, and by the nick of a dime, they understood that there is some kind of a hazard, and if they had not realized this, it would have been a nuclear catastrophe killing millions of people. So this was a cornerstone where people understand that cybersecurity threats are a real thing in the industrial world. Till that time, people thought that, okay, your Yahoo mail gets hacked and your credit card gets hacked and something like that on a financial scale. But this was one such attack which opened eyes for many people that, okay, these acts are real, and they may cause harm or danger or a worst fatality for human beings. Second such attack once again was brought into light when there was a complete blackout in Ukraine. This was kind of a ransomware where the malware attackers simply compromised the SCADA, which is the supervisory data acquisition software. So this is what is a monitoring system for distribution companies, for electricity or power distribution companies. All right. So they simply compromised the SCADA. So obviously there was a total blackout, and 3 distribution companies were compromised. So this is also in large scale. Now you may say that this is kind of a commercial loss for the power company. That is not so. Just consider that you have plenty of hospitals in a city and they are not getting power for an extended period of time. People will start losing life. All right. So this was another one such attack which was brought into fore, that yes, cybersecurity once again is a very, very real threat. Over a period of time, over a number of years, these attacks have become increasingly sophisticated, and very, very complex malware have been in the dark web. They are still available. Some of these software are already listed: Flame, Duku, Shaman, Dragonfly, Black Energy. These are some of the common software or popular, I won't say popular, unpopular malwares, which are, very complex. And they keep on targeting particularly energy and industrial organization, particularly oil and gas and process industry, rather, you can say, hold them in ransom. So these are some of the reasons. I will cut short here, but these are some of the reasons which the industry is looking for, that how to build this cybersecurity around their facilities. Now, some of the terms which are very much known or very much loosely used, some of you who are into cybersecurity already understand these terms, but those who are new or those who are beginning to get acquainted with these terms, I will simply clarify a few things. First common term which we use in the industry is ISCS. ISCS is Industrial Automation and Control System. All right, this is actually the heart of your facility. So if someone compromises this ISCS, then he is in complete coverage of the entire plant or the facility or the company or whatever it is. This is the heart of it. Now, this is one thing that you need to save, or you need to you can say secure, because everything is linked to this automation or control system. In general, it is called as control system. In industry, you might have heard terms SCADA or PCN or process control network or DCS or PLC. These are nothing but control systems. Based on the plant and based on your requirement, you use different kind of terminology. Second term that you should get acquainted, IT, which everyone understands. This is information technology. Now, when you say information technology, it basically means your communication network, or basically your service network, or your internet, or your protocols, or your servers, or your systems, basically, which is giving you access to the either internet or to your connections or communication, which is communication flow. And the third term, which is not usually used in day-to-day life, which is very much related to your cyber experts, or to your industrial system, it is called operational technology. Now, this is where our focus is, all right? We are dealing with operational technology. Operational technology means it's a combination of hardware and software, which is dealing with systems which is directly interacting with the physical world. All right, something like if you're working in industry, it means something like a valve or an actuated valve assembly. So this is kind of an operational technology. It is having its own signals and own communications and some microprocessors, which is controlling the hardware. So that something really in physical terms can happen. Your PLCs, SCADAs, HMIs, these are all your control parts of that particular hardware and the software. For example, your machines, your Modbus, your assembly lines, these are nothing but operational technology, which are running on a software, which is devised to make some kind of, it is kind of amalgamation of process and hardware and software. That is an operational technology. Now, this SCADA and ICS and IACS, what we are calling, this is a subset of your operational technology. Operational technology is quite big term. I'm just loosely telling you this, but it's quite big term, which includes everything from remote access all the way to your physical systems. So these are some loosely managed terms. Now, why once again you need to secure these things, or secure these particular systems, because of these attack vectors. Now, when we say vectors, it is a means or medium by which the attack may happen. For example, poor segmentation between IT and OT. All right, there is not much interface or not much security at the interface. Malware from USB drives. This is one of the main reasons for plenty of malware is physically installed in form of a USB, where you, for example, your system or your company does not have a policy of blocking the USB drive, external USB drive, then you yourself, maybe inadvertently, simply insert a USB and the malware gets installed into your system. HMI and PLC software vulnerabilities. Yes, this is another reason. These are the heart of your operational technology. These are your OT, the mind and brain and heart of your OT. Then remote technician access. This is becoming increasingly vigorous. The reason being not much emphasis is given on the, yes, there are encryption and there are a lot of other things as part of the security features for your remote access, but they could also be decrypted, or there are also various loopholes in this system. And of course, internet connections. This is one of the reasons that one particular incident happened just 3 years back, because the entire system, all right, the entire, your PLC and SCADA and everything was connected with external internet. And it compromised the entire system, and the entire refinery was taken into ransom. It happened in the Middle East. So these are some of the vectors. Again, cybersecurity is such a vast subject that you cannot pinpoint and simply list out few of the things. It is not like that. For a particular kind of a safety or security system, you will have very customized kind of an attack or vectors. All right, but these are just very common, which is available in the industry. Now, where do we stand? All right. See, many different standards exist, all right, in the world, in the industry, which relates to cybersecurity, to safety, and to alarms. Particularly when you say industrial safety, safety of your control system in industry, in process industry, there are two governing standards, 6158 and 61511. 61511 is on the application side, for which the industry is now becoming a little bit mature. It is still in India, in this part of the world, it is incipient, but obviously in industrial world, it is very, very mature. In this part of the world, it is on the product side, it is very mature, but on the application side, you still need to work, or you still need to push. But the standard exists. For last 20, 25 years, the standard has existed. So it is quite mature as far as the technology is concerned. Then comes alarms, which everyone is aware of as far as industry is concerned. And that is also governing standard. It is also a very well written standard, and or it is also a quite mature standard as far as alarms are concerned. And there is an interface between alarms and safety. They both go hand in hand. And third, of course, is cybersecurity, which also deals with alarms as well as the safety. The governing standard is 62443. The complete standard is written for cybersecurity, which includes right all from the conceptual stage all the way to the application stage, everything, whatever is the requirement. The cybersecurity is the most important. All these three alarms, your functional safety and cybersecurity, need to gel. They need to talk to each other. There are plenty of interfaces between all these three systems. And when you talk about industrial safety, invariably you have to talk about all these three systems put together. You cannot talk in isolation. They cannot exist in isolation. It is something like that. Now, how it is governed or how the requirements are set forth? Yes, as I mentioned, for industrial safety, you have a governing standard, which is IEC 61511. All right. And this IEC 61511, it is based on the life cycle. There are plenty of things inside, but it is based on a life cycle related standard. And as part of the life cycle activity, 61511, this governing standard tells us that for the safety of your industrial control system, it is not just the hardware part or the install system, but you are also supposed to do a security risk assessment. That means that you are supposed to check, verify, and ensure that the software part of your industrial control system is up to date and working according to the standard. That is where the requirement links us to another standard, which is IEC 62443, the governing standard of cybersecurity. There are also various other standards written like ISA, which are particularly written for American industry, but they are also very good guidelines available, and there are plenty of things you can do about ISA. Then comes, let us a little bit talk about IEC 62443, or in general, we can give overview of 62443. So as you see, it is written in 4 parts, and almost 14 parts are given over here. What we are particularly interested is in part 3 of the standard, which deals with security risk assessment and system security requirements and security levels. It does not mean that all other parts are not relevant. No, of course. All other parts are relevant for cyber experts, cybersecurity experts, particularly with industrial systems. We are much more interested in process industry, where we can evaluate and assess the risks of our facility. And then we can judge and provide some security levels to our system so that we can understand. It's a very structured method and very structured way, so that we can understand what to do about it and how to keep it secure, safe, and how many different kinds of safeguards are required to maintain the system in a safe level. Now, this is particularly interesting for end users and integrators. Now, these are another 2 terms. When you say end user means that these are the people who are on the OT side. It means they are running the plant, or the plant owners, or the operators. And when you say integrator, these are the people which are integrating the system, all right, which are designing the system and integrating the hardware and software. So for them, this is of utmost importance. That is what we are dealing with. These are some of the SIS attack surfaces. This is kind of, you can say, a way the attackers would attack. Sorry. If you see here, what you have is your engineering workstation on one hand, you have, which is, and then you have a control system on the other hand, and you have calibration and AMS on the other hand, and you have remote access with your HMI on the other hand. And in between, what you see is an SIS zone. All right, SIS is safety instrumented system. So I believe, first of all, that whosoever is registered here, they are very much aware of what is going on in the industry. So this is kind of, directly going into the fundamentals or the aspects. So what happens is there may be, when you talk about control system or access to control system, there are various ways. There are attack surfaces available, like you have in control system bypasses available, and you can bypass your secure logic. There are programs which can be modified remotely. Then there are access controls that who can do the modification. Vulnerabilities in the supply chain, uncontrolled usage of USB ports, applications from mobile and tablet which may not synchronize with your system, single-way communication or dual-way communication where you can read and write and do a lot of things into your control system. So these are some of the vulnerabilities or some of the ways. In your engineering workstation, of course, you have Windows vulnerability, your operating system vulnerability, your software versions, your patches, your remote access, once again, unauthorized access to your workstation. Just for example, say you have a service guy coming to your company, all right, and you simply give him access. You simply provide your password and provide him a login access to your system through your login. So this is inadvertently causing a security breach for your system. This is just a very simple example I gave. So these are some of the attack surfaces which already exist in your system. And it is not just that the safeguards are not there. The safeguards are there, but inadvertently, for the convenience of the work that you want to do, you inadvertently try to breach these surfaces or keep open these surfaces. Now, if you see, this is a comparison of your safety standard, which is the governing standard right now in the industry. And much of the industry is already following 615 and 61511, even in India. Whether being aware of it or unaware of it, they are invariably following this standard 615 and 61511. It is there in India, in almost all parts of India. And on the other side, on the right side, what you say is the security standard, which is the cybersecurity 62443. And you can draw very easily, you can draw parallels between these two standards. So just as on the safety side, you need to do HAZOP, which is a hazard identification. In the security also, you can perform cyber HAZOP. This is what the course is about. In this HAZOP side, you have the SIL determination or safety integrity level determination for your loops. In your security side, you have security level determination. Then you can perform LOPA to assess what are the various layers of protection available in your design. While in security, you have a cyber LOPA, which will assess what are the hackable and non-hackable layers available in your system. And then what you verify is the safety integrity level in the safety side. And in the security side, you verify security levels. And then, of course, you have design verification, implementation, O&M requirement for safety. Similar requirements you have for cybersecurity. So essentially, it is dealing with your BPCS and SIS layers and non-hackable SIS layers. That is what it tends to identify. This is drawing parallel between these two standards. It is more or less same, just the kind of activity that you do is different. This is another example of the interface between your control and SIS. This is kind of a comparison of how your control system and SIS looks like. What you see in the control system, basically, it is robust. There is no question about it. But the thing is, it is not used for safety purpose. So you kind of are not very much aware about the security features of your control system. But when you talk about safety instrumented system, which is basically dealing with the safety aspect of your plant, it is complied with the standards 61511. Risk analysis is properly done. Design implementation documents are available. Procedures are available. O&M manuals are available and procedures are available. PLC and you use a particular kind of a hardware and a software which is certified according to the standard. So basically everything in the SIS is following the standard. We are simply adding one more thing to your SIS, which is your cyber security for the software which is used for the development of the PLCs and your logics. Some very fundamental concepts, what we do as far as cyber risk assessment. Now, when you say cyber risk, it includes likelihood and severity. And when likelihood and severity is simply part of the risk, that how often an unwanted event may happen. And if it happens, then what is the magnitude of damage? When you talk about cyber risk, the likelihood is still assessed in terms of another three parameters, which are threat. That means who is doing it, what is it doing, and how is it doing it? It means who is trying to crack your system, all right? How they are going to crack your system. Then based on that, you are going to also assess vulnerability. It means where are the weak points within your system. Now, when you talk about vulnerability, you must understand one thing very, very clearly, guys, all right? If you're a cyber expert, you already know. But if you're not, then you must understand any device which is connected to internet is having one or the other kind of vulnerability, all right? And if a system can be abused, it will be abused. There is no reason about it. See, there are only two kinds of companies in the world, all right? This is according to, US FBI and these guys who are dealing with the cyber risk measures. There are only two kinds of companies in the world. One company which has gone through an attack, cyber attack. The other company which has also gone through the cyber attack, but they are not aware of it. They are the only two kind of companies, all right? So if you are having a mobile and if it is connected to internet all the day, don't ever think that it is not getting compromised. Yes, every day there are plenty of attacks happening on it. Just that your security features are quite good enough that you don't realize. But more or less, every device connected to internet is having some or the other kind of security lapses. Then comes target attractiveness. Is it an attractive target for the malicious hacker? Yes, that also you need to pursue. that whatever target that you have, or whatever industry that you're working in, whatever facility you have developed. For example, if you're a small business owner, not dealing with much of the, if there is not much turnover or something like that, of course, you will have less target effectiveness. But if you are some kind of an oil company, that if you shut down the oil company, the oil prices in the market will escalate or de-escalate. Some kind of revenue loss may happen, something like that. And of course, it's a very, very high target effectiveness for the people, all right, for this malicious attackers. And of course, then the consequences is what impact does it have? If the failure happens or if the hacking happens within your system, then what can it lead to? Can it lead to damage to people, environment, or business? I will move fast a little bit because I want to give much more time for the questions. So in short, this is how you devise your security level. This is also very interesting for you to understand that this is what the course is about to do, that you will have to judge subjectively that what kind of attacks that you pursue. Based on the kind of attacks you pursue, you will have to assign the security levels. It is very simple to understand. For example, if you're security level 1, it means if you pursue the threat to you of a very casual nature, it means that the malware, the properties of the attacker they are very casual in nature, all right? Just like you and me, I mean, not much knowledge about cybersecurity or something like that. And accidentally, you might just get into that particular system or some kind of a company. And you don't have any kind of superior capabilities of hacking, neither you are any motivated to do any kind of a damage. If you say security level 2, it means it's kind of a deliberate attack. It means this kind of hackers or terrorists, they are deliberately trying to do something to your system. The instrument that you use still are of very simple nature. They don't have much more funding, all right? They are just kind of a local goons. The resources are also low. They cannot have some kind of a very complex software. The capabilities are very normal and motivation is very low. If it happens, something like that. If you say security level 3, it means you are pursuing that the attackers are again deliberate in nature. Security level 2, 3, 4, they are all deliberate. The only thing is the resources and capabilities get very complex and they become very skilled and competent, all right? For example, if you have some ethical cyber hacker, they are also having such kind of capabilities, all right? They also have access to plenty of resources. They use very sophisticated means, and they also know very complex software. They are also aware of the systems, on how to break into the systems. So something like this. Based on that, you will judge the security capabilities. Now, I'll just keep past one few things. Okay, what we are doing in this course is giving you an opportunity to analyze the risk in terms of first identification of the risk, which is available within your facility based on your threat perception, based on the vulnerabilities in the system that you understand. And based on that, you will judge that what is the risk or what we call as a cyber hazard. So what is the risk to your facility? Once you identify all these hazards and risk and everything, you will assign a security level that this is the needed security level for your system. And once the security level is assigned, now security level is determined by using LOPA method, that is layers of protection approach. It means you will identify your safeguards. Some of the safeguards will be hackable. Hackable means anything having some kind of a software domain, then obviously it is hackable. And when you say non-hackable, means some kind of a mechanical devices, all right? For example, in your car, you have a handbrake. It is purely mechanical devices. It cannot be hacked. But if you say, for example, engine, some kind of a software which is directly connected to your engine update or something like that, then it becomes hackable, something like that. So then we'll have assess a security level for your systems. There will be recommendations coming out of it that how will you maintain the security levels, what is required to achieve the security levels. And once you have procured your software and hardware and all together, put together, then you will have security level verification. This is also another kind of an exercise which is taught in this particular course. So yeah, this is what it is. So you do a HAZOP, and based on the HAZOP scenarios, you do the LOPA in your safety system. Similarly, you do cyber HAZOP, and then you figure out and identify what are the hackable, non-hackable layers and IPLs which are required, and then assign a security level. And once you have the security level, then you try to firm up your system or make your system more robust by some hardware or software or various IPLs, and then you verify the security levels. This is kind of a flow sheet or a simple flow chart of how it goes through. We a little bit short of time, and these are the questions. Before I move on to the question, Mohan sir, are you there? Are you still there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, sir. Okay, I was looking for you at the starting of lecture. Okay, yes, sir. So you want to add something on this course, please?
Yeah, I just wanted to, Akhilesh, thank you very much. You have done an excellent job. In the given short time, you have done a good job. Only thing what I would like to add is, please remember what Akhilesh told about IT and OT. See, mainly all these operating plants, people are leaving it to the, when it comes to cybersecurity, people tend to leave it to the IT guys. Now, here is a course where, because the process guys, they know the importance of their safety systems and their entire operation. So it is better that they judge their security levels day to day, and they know what kind of operations are going on within their plant. So I would like to suggest that every person who is working in process industry, he should at some level must take an understanding about this cybersecurity and this particular course, which is just a 2-day course, and it makes you straight away, you can access this security levels, and you can do the review yourself. You don't have to every time approach the IT guy. Okay, that is the advantage of having this course. It can be substantial delays and things can be avoided. Okay.
Very well said, sir. Very well said. Okay, now we are open to questions. Ms. Sapna, are you... Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you for attending the session.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ms. Sapna, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes. Okay, then we will close up the session.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Sapna.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
for organizing.
Thank you, everybody.